Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited for this masterclass on how to stop snacking late at night. This is popular by demand. Is that even a phrase? So many of you guys constantly let me know, Lorna, I can eat healthy during the day. I can do well with my diet all day. But come the evening time, I feel like I throw all of my hard work out the window, right? So I'm really excited to dive in because this is going to help you understand why you're actually needing to eat at night, why you find yourself snacking constantly late at night when you know you're not hungry, and so much more. So if you're watching live, say hello, drop a comment down below, and I'm excited to dive in. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we're just going to jump right into the masterclass. All right, you guys. All right. Stop snacking late at night masterclass. So excited. Okay, so topics we're going to be discussing. Why you snack late at night. What is the actual reason why you snack late at night? Okay, how to work in sync with your brain. How pleasure is related to more self-control. And how to create a pattern interrupt so that you don't even have the desire to snack late at night. So I'm really excited for this. If you're excited, give me some hearts down below. Let me know that you're excited as well too. All right. So the first thing we're going to dive into is the different types of snackers. Everybody might snack in the evening, but for a different reason. And there's different types of snackers. So let's dive through each one of them. And if you can resonate with any of the different types that I'm sharing, let me know down below, comment down below me, or this is me, I can relate to this one. And this will help you to bring awareness to what is going on. Okay, number one is the stress snacker. So food is always there for you, no matter what. It's like your best friend, your soulmate. Food gives you pleasure. It gives you joy. It gives you comfort. It gives you a sense of relief. You eat to temporarily relieve any emotions that you're feeling, any sensations, any pain, any discomfort, stress, overwhelm. You want to get rid of those uncomfortable sensations and feel that temporary sense of relief through food, through the numbing out, through snacking, which helps to relieve those certain sensations that are uncomfortable. Number two, I can't say no snacker. So this type of person, if this is you, you know, if the food is there, I'm going to eat it, right? So whether you're at work and let's say your coworkers bring you, bring, let's say some cookies to the lunchroom, you're like, how can I not say no? If it's there, I am going to eat it, right? Even if you're not hungry. Maybe you just had your lunch and your coworkers bring in snacks and you're like, obviously I'm going to say yes. Obviously I'm going to want some of this, okay? So you feel like you can't say no. And you feel bad for saying no, right? You feel bad when people offer you food, so you feel like you always need to be saying yes, okay? Almost like, why wouldn't I eat it? Like, why wouldn't I? It's right there. Or maybe you're at home and you remember that there's cookies in the cupboard. And you're like, why would I say no? I know it's in there. I can have it. If it's there, I'm going to eat it. If I bring bread in the house, I'm going to eat it. If I bring cookies in the house, I'm going to eat it. I can't say no. So if you can resonate with that one, drop a me down below. Okay, number three, the boredom snacker. So the boredom snacker likes to fill their time up with eating. There's this mindset of, well, there's really not much to do, or there's nothing really else to do at the end of the night. I might as well just eat. I might as well fill up my time. And sometimes there's this belief of, I always need to be doing something. I always need to be productive. I always need to be doing something. So you see eating as a form of being productive. I know I struggled with this a lot. I had a hard time with just resting and relaxing and allowing myself at the end of the day to just chill on the couch and relax. I was like, no, I should be doing something, or I should be taking a hot bath, or I should be reading, or I should be cleaning the house, or I should be doing laundry. And because I didn't want to do those things, well, I got to be productive. Let me just eat. Eating is more productive than just sitting here on the couch and not doing anything, right? Or maybe you have a break, maybe a 15-minute break in between meetings. You're like, well, I can't go for a walk. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to throw in a load of laundry. I might as well eat. Okay, so you just fill up your time with eating. Okay, if you can resonate with that, let me know down below. Okay, number 4, the grazing snacker. So you find yourself constantly munching, even when you know you're not hungry. So you don't tend to have regular meals. You tend to just snack throughout the day. Even if you are cooking a meal, you'll tend to, when you're cooking a meal and you're like snacking while you're cooking, so that by the time your meal comes, like you're not even hungry, right? Or you don't really feel like the meal, you just prefer snacking, right? So you tend to not really have a lot of meals. You prefer just little bits and pieces, snacking here, snacking there, okay? So that is the grazing snacker. And again, if you can resonate with that, let me know down below. Maybe you're a combination of a few of these, and that's cool too, okay? All right, number 5 is the out of control snacker. So this type of snacker, you can't just have a bite of something sweet. You feel like you need to eat it all. So let's say you were gonna have a chocolate bar and you're like, I'm just gonna have a bite, or like 1 or 2 squares of the chocolate. As soon as you taste the chocolate, the sweetness, you feel like you can't control yourself. You can't just have the 1 or 2 squares. You feel like you need to eat the entire bar. So it feels like this out of body experience. You're on autopilot and you can't stop eating. Okay, so that is the out of control eater. You feel like you have to eat it all. Okay, and it feels like you're just on autopilot and you just need to keep on eating. Okay. Number 6, I have no idea when I'm full snacker. I have no idea when I'm full snacker. So if you're this type of snacker, you have a hard time understanding your hunger and your fullness cues, okay? Hunger, you might be able to understand a little bit more clear than your fullness cues, especially if you've dieted for so many years. Our hunger and fullness cues kind of become muted and they become blocked, right? So the I have no idea when I'm full type of snacker, this is when you tend to eat way past fullness because you're not sure really when you're full. So you just keep on eating. You keep on eating until you're like overly full and you're eating way past fullness to the point where you're almost physically sick. So your mind will say, stop eating, like you've had enough, you don't need any more food. And then your body is like, just keep on going. Just keep on eating. Just keep on going. One more bite, one more bite, one more bite, right? So this type of snacker tends to never leave food on their plate. How many of you guys have a hard time leaving food on your plate? So for me personally, I had this weird thing where even if I was full, and I had like one tiny bite left, I had to eat it. I could not just leave a bite or two on my plate. I had to finish my plate. And there came this safety of being overly full. Can you guys relate to that? For me, it was like I couldn't concentrate on what I needed to do after my meal, whether it was, finishing up emails or getting back to work, because if I wasn't overly full, I didn't really feel safe. I didn't really feel safe. So this type of snacker eats past fullness. Your mind says stop. Your body says, nope, let's keep on eating. You have a hard time leaving food on your plate. You feel like you need to finish your plate. And you feel safe or comforted when you are overly full. Although you're not really comfortable. Of course, when you're physically full and stuffed, you're not really comfortable, but it's like this safety feeling of being overly full. Okay, so that is that type of snacker. Now, the last type of snacker, number 7, if it's going to go, oops. Number 7, just going back here. Okay, eat in secret snacker. So this is you if you tend to hide food. Maybe you tend to only have certain snacks when you go to the grocery store and then you eat them in your car. Or you buy certain snacks and you hide them in your cupboards or certain areas of your house or your car, and you just tend to eat in secret. Okay? So you find a lot of pleasure when eating alone. And you rather not be judged for either how much you're eating or what you're eating. So you tend to do it in secret. So maybe come the end of the night, when everybody goes to bed, that's when you eat the ice cream. That's when you eat the chips. That's when you eat the cookies, whatever it is. You find pleasure in eating alone because you don't have to worry about the judgment from other people. Now, although you don't want to be judged by other people when you're eating in front of them, oftentimes when you're eating in secret, when you're eating alone, that creates judgment on yourself. You tend to judge yourself because there's a lot of shame, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in my car and I'm stuffing my face and I'm snacking. Like, what the heck is wrong, right? So you tend to judge yourself. So you don't want judgment from other people, but then you find yourself judging yourself. So again, this could be eating in your car, or it can be at night when your parents, your husband goes to bed, or whoever you live with, if they go to bed, it's like that's the perfect time to just snack and eat all the foods that I want late at night because nobody's judging me. Nobody's watching me. I can eat however much I want. This was me. I would always eat in secret when I was home alone, and especially in the evening. So if you can relate to that, you can let me know in the chat as well too. Okay. So what type of snacker can you relate with the most? It could either be 1, it could be 2, it can be all 7. It can be a combination of multiple. So you can drop it in the chat. For me personally, I resonated a lot with the boredom snacker because I always felt like I needed to fill up my time. I was being quote unquote productive. I can relate with the out of control snacker because I felt like I could not stop eating late at night. The I have no idea when I'm full snacker because my hunger and fullness cues were completely out of whack. And I would just eat until I was way past fullness. And then the eat in secret snacker. So I would always, binge in the evenings when I was home alone. Okay, so drop it down below. This is really good to have awareness of what type of snacker that you can resonate with the most. Either 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, all of them. It does not matter. Okay. So let's talk about how your brain works. Now you have awareness over what you're actually doing with food. You have awareness of the different type of snacking that can occur. And now we're going to understand how the brain works, which is really, really, really important, because there is a reason why you snack late at night. There is a very good reason why you snack late at night, and it has to do with understanding how our brain works. So, first thing in the morning, your brain is fresh. It's ready to get to work. There is a high decision-making power. Your ability to make decisions is very good, okay? There's lots of willpower, there's lots of motivation first thing in the morning. You feel really connected to your goals, and you have a lot of clarity and focus. This is first thing in the morning. So when it comes to your food, you tend to make healthier choices, right? I'm gonna start off the day with a smoothie. I'm gonna make some eggs for some good protein. You think about all of the foods that you're going to fuel your body with, because you want energy, you wanna be productive, you wanna feel good, you wanna feel light. So at the beginning of the day, you're so motivated, right? What can I eat that's gonna fuel my body? And your brain, the way that your brain works, because it has higher amounts of motivation and willpower first thing in the morning, it's easier for you to dismiss your cravings. Okay, it's way easier for you to dismiss your cravings first thing in the morning or earlier on in the day before the evening comes. Now, come the evening time, your brain is tired. Your brain is fatigued. Think about how many decisions that you make every single day. Every single choice that you make throughout your day, that fatigues out the brain. It fatigues out your decision-making power. So let's say first thing in the morning, you have to decide, should I press snooze? That's a decision that fatigues out the brain. You have to decide, what am I gonna wear? That fatigues out the brain. What should I eat? That fatigues out the brain. What should I drink? What type of tea do I want? Or if you're plain and simple of just coffee, then it's a little bit of an easier decision. Or if you know what tea you want first thing in the morning, like me, I have the same tea every single day, it's a lot easier. But think about how many decisions, and then you get to work and you're like, should I send this email? Should I add an exclamation mark? Should I add an emoji? Like, there's so many different decisions that we have to make every single day. So come the end of the day with all these decisions, all these choices, your brain is fatigued and your brain is ready to rest. So your decision-making power is a lot lower, right? There's a weaker decision-making power. There's lower amounts of motivation, there's lower amounts of willpower, and you become disconnected from your goals. Doesn't matter how motivated you are, at the end of the day, we kind of get into like the screw it mentality, right? Like, oh, I know that I have this goal to not binge again, or I have this goal to, drop weight, or I have this goal to look a certain way. But come the end of the night, it's like, meh, right? And there's confusion, because it's like, I have these goals. I don't want to snack. I'm not even hungry. Why do I need the popcorn when I'm watching a movie? Why do I need the extra piece of chocolate after dinner? Why? Right? I had such good intentions first thing this morning. I was so motivated. I felt so good. I ate so healthy all day. Why do I feel like I need a snack uncontrollably late at night? So because we understand this is the way that your brain works, how do you think your food is at the end of the night? Well, you tend to make unhealthier food choices. right? You tend to make unhealthier food choices. You think about what sounds good versus what's going to fuel me. So remember, first thing in the morning, it's like what's going to fuel me? What's going to be healthy? What's going to give me energy? And then at the end of the night, it's like, what's quick? What's easy? What's gonna sound good? And it's much harder for you to dismiss your cravings for two reasons. Number one, we now know that your brain's decision-making power fatigues as the day goes on. So it's harder for you to dismiss your cravings. But also, because it's easier for you to dismiss your cravings during the day because the willpower is a little bit stronger, because you say no to your cravings, what ends up happening at the end of the day is the cravings build and the cravings build and build and build. And it becomes that much harder to not give in. Is this making sense? Think about the impulse, right? When you feel the impulse and you say, don't give in, don't give in, don't give in, it's like it builds and it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. The same with the cravings. If you dismiss your cravings throughout the day because you want to eat healthy and you're doing well and you're motivated and you're connected to your goals, because you dismiss them, they intensify, they don't go away, they become stronger in the evening. And because your brain's decision-making power is at its all-time low, it's like, screw it, I'll just give in. I'm just going to bed. No one's gonna see me. I can just put on comfy, loose pajamas, and then tomorrow I'll get back to the swing of things, right? So as a recap, at the beginning of the day, you have an easier time to dismiss those cravings. And at the end of the day, it's harder to dismiss those cravings. Okay, your brain is fatigued, weak decision-making power. Okay. So your brain likes to seek out pleasure. Your brain does everything that it can to move in the direction of pleasure and away from pain. Drop that in the chat. Your brain seeks out pleasure and moves away from pain. Drop that in the chat. Your brain moves towards pleasure and away from pain. This is the reality of how our brain works. When we feel any ounce of quote unquote pain or discomfort, I don't want to feel that. Nope, I don't want to feel that. Nope, I don't like this feeling. It's uncomfortable. Nope, I need to get rid of it. How can I get rid of it? What's the fastest way that I can get rid of it? And if you can guess, the fastest way to experience the pleasure is through going to your cupboards and eating something. The fastest way to get that boost of dopamine, to have those feel-good hormones floating in your mind and your body, to experience pleasure. Okay? So let's explore the different types of pain, so to speak. And what I mean by pain, it's really any type of discomfort, okay? So the first one is any emotion: anxiety, stress, overwhelm, anger, sadness. Your body wants to move away from pain. So you experience any emotion: anxiety, stress, anger, overwhelm, and you're like, how can I get rid of it? I don't like it. I don't want to feel this. If you can relate to that, let me know in the comments. We don't like to feel these emotions. We have these bad associations with these emotions, like anxiety is bad and stress is bad and sadness is bad. We're going to talk more about this. Being hungry, that can be really uncomfortable, especially if you had a history of restriction, right? And maybe there's this fear of being hungry. Nobody likes to be hungry. It's uncomfortable. They say it's like being hangry. It's not comfortable. It's quote unquote painful. There's discomfort there. I don't want to be hungry, so I'm going to make sure that I eat a bedtime snack. I don't want to be hungry, so I'm going to make sure to overeat at dinner so that I don't go to bed hungry. We don't want to feel any type of discomfort. Next, fatigue, low energy, or burnout. If you guys have ever experienced this before, it's not fun. It's uncomfortable. When you're so tired at the end of the day, you don't even want to do anything. You're so burnt out. You're so fatigued. You have such low energy. That's not comfortable, right? You're like dragging yourself. It's not comfortable. We want to get rid of that. And then a lack of safety and loneliness, right? When you don't feel safe, that's not comfortable. Whether it's I don't feel safe going to bed hungry, or I don't feel safe experiencing this stress and this anxiety, or there's some loneliness going on, it is not comfortable. We want to get away from it. We want to numb it. We want to escape from it as quickly as possible. So let's break down every type of pain. And before I continue, this stuff is really important. You might have joined this masterclass and you might have been expecting things like, we'll just eat more throughout the day, and we'll just don't keep chocolate in the house so that you don't binge on it at night, and we'll just be more disciplined late at night. I'm sure you probably know those things, and I'm sure you've probably done those things. Those things are important, right? To be able to, eat enough throughout the day. Like, there are certain things that we need to obviously do. But I think we know that, and I want to dive a little bit deeper to actually get to the root of this so that we can end the snacking for good. All right? Okay. So each type of pain. The first one, and remember when I say pain, it's just discomfort. So the first one is any emotion. So like I said, as humans, we are so quick to run away from any emotion that we feel. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be anxious. How do I get rid of this? I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like feeling stressed. Oh my gosh, this sucks. So like I said, the fastest way to get rid of the emotion temporarily for the quick burst of high that you get is through food. Isn't it much easier to go into your cupboards and experience the quick burst of high or joy or pleasure than it is to actually process and journal and sit through your emotions or speak out your emotions? We like simple, efficient. We don't like doing the hard things, right? So it's like, how can I get rid of this emotion faster? There's a lot of ways to healthfully process through your emotions, like breath work, right? I do this with my clients every single month. We do a breath work session, one of the fastest ways to get out of your mind to help you process through your emotions so that the desire to turn to food isn't even there. Journaling, right? Writing out your emotions, speaking them out loud verbally, moving your body, releasing the emotions. We need to emote. We need to emote, and it's healthy to emote, right? We got to release the emotions, because what ends up happening is when we bottle them up, they grow, they intensify, right? Like I said, just like the impulse, just like our cravings. And it gets to a point where it does not matter how much motivation you have or how much willpower that you have. If you've not processed those emotions, right, you're going to snap. You're going to say, I can't handle this anymore. I need that release. Same with the impulse. I can't handle the discomfort. I'm just going to give in. Okay? So that is the first one. You need to remember, your emotions are nothing to fear. Look at your emotions as feedback. Your emotions are here to tell you something. They are your greatest teachers. They are your greatest teachers. Write that down in the chat. My emotions are my greatest teachers. My emotions are my greatest teachers. They are lessons. They're the greatest teachers, okay? There's nothing to fear. And you must feel to heal. And when I say feel, I know that like when I first heard this, I'm like, that's like some woo-woo stuff that I'm not into. I don't mean, anything crazy. It's just, you got to allow yourself to release the anxiety, to feel through the anxiety, to remind yourself that you're safe, to do breath work, to move the anxiety, to move your body, to shift the energy in your body, not hold on to it because it's just going to grow. Okay. The second type of discomfort or pain is being hungry. So like I said, for a lot of people, the reason why a lot of people snack at night is I don't want to go to bed hungry. There's this fear of I don't want to go to bed hungry. And like I said, maybe due to past restrictions, going on certain diets where maybe you were, you track your macros and you don't have enough macros at the end of the day, right? And you had to go to bed hungry. That happened to me multiple times. Or you just tell yourself you can't eat past 7 p.m. There's a lot of fear there, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to bed hungry and I don't want that. So let me snack before I go to bed. Let me eat a bigger dinner before I go to bed. You don't feel safe. You don't feel safe. So you have to remind yourself, like, I am safe. There is food to eat. I am not going to starve. And I think a lot of the times, you'll have your dinner and then it's like, I need a bedtime snack, but I don't go to bed hungry. But you have to remember the food is not going anywhere. You can literally, this happened to me a few times where I would literally be in bed and I'm like, I'm actually kind of hungry. And now I can just, I don't really have to always give into it because it doesn't turn into a binge or anything like that. But there would be a lot of the times where I would go downstairs and I would have a snack because I'm hungry, right? Just because at 7 p.m., maybe you had dinner at 5 and you're wanting a snack at 7, but you're not really that hungry. You can have a snack at 8. You can have a snack at 9. Like, this is something that you have to train your body. It's not a bad thing to eat late at night. Don't go to bed hungry, right? You don't have to go to bed hungry, but also you don't have to fear going to bed hungry because there's an immense amount of food. There's an immense amount of food and you're safe, okay? So the next type of discomfort or pain is fatigue, low energy, or burnout. If you're constantly on the go all the time, you are going to burn out and stress levels are going to be at an all-time high. And when you're stressed out, you become disconnected from your body. When you're disconnected from your body, you don't know when you're hungry. You don't know when you're full. You don't know what satisfies you. You don't know what sounds good. You don't know when to stop eating. So at the end of the night, just think about this. At the end of the night, when you are, your brain is so fatigued, I need energy. I need energy. Let me go get food because I need energy. I'm so burnt out. I'm so fatigued. And because you're so disconnected from your body, you don't know when you're full. So you keep on eating. Now, here's the thing. I had one of my clients that I work with inside of my high level Ditch Decade Diets Academy program. And she said to me, so she's a waitress and she gets home late. And she said, I'm like so tired, but I feel like just food gives me energy. And I said, okay, it does. But wouldn't it be better if you went to bed, got sufficient amount of sleep that will actually energize you for the next day versus eating late at night to try to get energy. You don't need energy at 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m., right? We don't need energy. A lot of the times we try to justify in our mind, this is good because I need energy. Yes, food can provide energy, but you don't need energy at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. I hope there's some light bulbs going off in your brain right now. We don't need energy at that time. We like to justify. Now, if you are hungry at 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m., eat, of course, absolutely. But if you're eating because you're fatigued and you're eating because you need energy, go to sleep, get good quality sleep, which is going to energize your body for when you actually need it during the day, when you need to be productive, when you need to show up. Okay, so this is making sense. Give me some hearts, give me some love down below in the chat. Okay, so giving you an example. I used to run a fitness studio with my husband. And I would wake up in the morning, 5 a.m. and hi, Leslie. I would wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. and I would be at the studio for 6 a.m. And then I would work with my clients all day. I'd get home at like 8:30, 9, sometimes a little bit later. And because I was too fatigued, I did not want to do laundry. I did not want to freaking clean my house. I was so tired. Taking a bath felt like a freaking chore. I'm like, I don't even have the desire or the energy to hop and take a bath or read a book. I'm just going to fall asleep. So I felt like I needed more energy because let's say I got home at 8 o'clock. I didn't want to go to bed at 8 o'clock, but I needed energy because I still have a full hour before I go to sleep. This is a great idea to go see what I can eat. What can I eat? What's going to sound good? We are longing for energy. You don't need that. Okay? You need rest. You need rest. At the end of the day, every single human being needs to unwind. That is a fact. That is a fact. Every single person. I don't care if you are a stay-at-home mom, if you work 13-hour days, if you work 3 hours every day. At the end of the day, remember how your brain works. It is fatigued. You need to unwind. That's a fact. And here's another fact. Here's another fact. You need downtime to do absolutely nothing and be okay with that. That is a fact. How many people on here are doers? I need to be doing something. I feel very lazy if I'm sitting on the couch and I should be doing laundry, or I should be, doing something with my kids, or I should be doing X, Y, and Z thing. Relax. It is okay. You are a human being. I had one of my clients, she said, I felt like taking a nap because I was so tired. And I felt like I shouldn't be taking a nap. So she decided to turn to food instead. And then she realized, well, if I just allowed myself to nap, which was the actually thing that I needed and wanted to do, I wouldn't have turned to food. What if you start listening to your body? You start being kind to it. Your body is longing to do nothing and to rest. That is okay. What if you can look at doing nothing as the most productive thing that you can do? Because I like to have a reframe. Doing nothing in my world means I'm recharging. Doing nothing in my world means I'm recharging. I do nothing. I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilty. I'm recharging. I need to do nothing. You need to do nothing. Because if you feel like you need to always be doing something, then the snacks at 9 o'clock at night is going to sound like a great idea. When you don't want to do the things that you need to do, you don't want to send that email, you don't want to do X, Y, Z, you don't want to do those things, let me just eat. Don't justify. Don't justify. Okay, the last one, a lack of safety and loneliness. So when you don't feel safe, you enter panic mode and your brain remembers all the times that you did not feel safe. And what I mean by this is you need to get rid of everything that doesn't make you feel safe, AKA telling yourself that you can't eat past 7 p.m. You're not going to feel safe. That's going to be a lot of pressure. You're going to be thinking about food so much more. If you tell yourself you need to go to bed early and not eat, that's going to create pressure, right? It's going to create pressure. I don't feel safe. What if I want to eat? If you tell yourself every time you watch TV you can't snack, that's going to be unsettling for your body. You're not going to feel safe. And then the last thing, instead of eating, I need to read or I need to go take a bath. What if you don't want to do that? Right? What if you don't want to do that? You can't replace something that is giving you so much joy. Maybe the only joy in your life right now is eating. And I say that with lots of love. Like, that was my main source of joy for 10 years. And I told myself, I'm just going to go take a bath instead or read. And maybe you enjoy those things, but it's not as pleasurable as eating, right? So you don't feel safe. It doesn't feel good for your body, right? So these are rules that creates a lot of internal pressure in your body. You tell yourself no more eating after 7 p.m. All you want to do is eat after 7 p.m. No more chips at night. All you're going to want is chips at night. Okay? So we talked about safety, and now there's the loneliness piece. What I mean by lonely is not really feeling understood. And just stick with me for a moment. Stick with me for a moment. You can have 9 million friends and feel alone. You can have 9 million friends and feel alone. Meaning there's not a lot of connection. You don't feel understood. You can't speak to your friends about the fact that you struggle with binge eating. You can't talk to your friends at the fact that you just ate way past fullness last night and all you're experiencing right now is guilt. You need to feel understood. You need to have these connections and have reassurance that you're not the only one that's struggling. Because here's the thing. If you feel like you're the only person who snacks uncontrollably late at night, you're the only person who eats in secret, you're the only person who eats when you're bored, you're the only person who fills up her time by eating, there's judgment, there's shame, there's embarrassment, and you feel lonely. And to ease loneliness, what do? More food, please. More food, please. Right? You need to up level your connection. And that is why every single program that I run, there is some type of connection. There is magic in connection, in community. Every single one of my programs. Stop the Urge, Break the Late Night Binge, my academy programs, all of my programs that I run are group. There's connection. So you don't feel alone. So you don't feel like you're the only one that snacks late at night. You're not the only one who eats in secret. You're not. And there's so much reassurance and safety and comfort that comes from you not being the only one. It is freaking powerful. Just being part of a community can transform your relationship with food like this. No more isolation. We got to up level your connection. Okay? Really important. In fact, that's probably the number one thing that can expedite your journey is connection. So, putting this together, we're not finished, but putting this together, your brain will always move in the direction of pleasure and away from pain. So, oftentimes, there's snacking going on late at night when food is the main source of pleasure in your life. And it is okay if food is the main source of pleasure in your life right now. That is okay. It was my source of pleasure for many, many years of my life. But when it's the only source of pleasure, that's where it becomes a problem. Food is pleasurable. We get to enjoy food. It gets to be fun. It gets to be social. It gets to be cultural. It gets to be enjoyable. But when it's the only thing in your life that is lighting you up and giving you pleasure, that's a problem. So you need to add more pleasure into your life that is not self-sabotaging, right? We all know how to add pleasure in our life through binging and food, but it's a temporary sense of pleasure, and it's also a false sense of pleasure. So your brain is kind of mismatched right now. Remember, your brain moves you towards pleasure and away from pain. So right now, your brain is seeing snacking late at night uncontrollably, when you're not hungry, you're binge eating, feeling out of control of food late at night. Your brain is seeing that as pleasure. So it moves in the direction of pleasure. And now it's this habitual cyclical loop. When you add more pleasure in your life, the desire to turn to food is no longer going to be there, because snacking when you're not even hungry and binging until the point where you're physically sick is no longer pleasurable for you, because you have all this other pleasure in your life. Again, I hope there's light bulb moments going on in your brain right now. So pleasure, there's tons of ways to get pleasure in your life. Sex, that's pleasurable. Hobbies, what do you enjoy doing? Dancing, singing. What are hobbies that you enjoy? More date nights. Are you having fun in your life? We have an inner child inside of us who likes to have fun, who likes to experience joy and pleasure. Are you allowing yourself to have fun, or are you taking life so seriously? Spending more time alone for yourself. What brings you joy? What makes you happy? Are you doing that? Maybe some massages. Now, here's the thing. This is not to replace eating. At the end of the night, okay? At the end of the night, this is not a way to replace one habit with the other. So I don't snack late at night. I'm going to go book myself a massage. No, that's not realistic. Okay, it's not realistic. I mean, instead of binging or snacking, I mean, you can go have sex and I'm sure you'll experience way more pleasure, but this is not replacing one with the other. This is adding in more pleasure into your life as a whole, so that your life is so filled with pleasurable things that you don't need the pleasure through the false sense of pleasure through food. This is a big thing. I'm going to take a drink of water. So, you don't need to experience the joy of a binge when your life is full of joy. Let me say that again. You don't need to experience the joy of a binge when your life is full of joy. I think back to my life a few years ago when I was a chronic anxiety ball, a ball of anxiety, and I was so disconnected from my body. I was binge eating every single night, snacking uncontrollably every single night. The only source of joy that I had was food at the end of the day. And now, because I'm no longer binging or I no longer snack uncontrollably late at night, I feel fulfilled. My relationships are better because I'm more present. I can go out on spontaneous dates with my husband, going out for pizza or whatever it is, not feel guilty. I have way more joy in my life. Adding joy in your life is not a nice thing to have. It's a necessary thing to have. It's a necessary thing to have. The goal is to be so high on life so you don't need the high from a binge. Maybe right now you're thinking, I need more joy in my life. I need more pleasure in my life. That's a good thing. Amazing. This is awareness. So the goal is to be so high on life so that you don't need the high from a binge at the end of the day. So with all that being said, I'm going to share a tool with you. This tool is a pattern interrupt tool. This is what I share with a lot of my clients, and this is going to be really profound. So what is a pattern interrupt? A pattern interrupt is when you shift your physical state. You shift how your body is thinking, how your body is feeling, what's going on in your mind, right? There are ways to shift what is going on in your mind. There's ways to shift how you're thinking, how your body is feeling through using a pattern interrupt. Now, there's different ways that you can use a pattern interrupt. A lot of the times people say, Lorna, if I'm snacking at night, what do I do at night? Well, I can tell you what to do at night, but instead, there are certain things that you can do as part of your morning routine. There are certain things that you can do within your meals. There are certain things that you can do during the day that can set you up for success so that come the evening time, there's no more autopilot mode of going into snack mode. So there are certain things that we can do throughout the day to set ourselves up for success. Every single habit has 4 main components. The first one is a cue. There's something that signals the brain. There's a cue. The cue creates a craving. We start craving something. The craving, we don't want to feel discomfort. So there's a response. We respond to the craving. And then because we've given into the craving, there's a reward. So an example, the cue. You walk into your kitchen at 8 o'clock at night and you remember that there's still some cookies in the cupboard. This leads to a craving. You start craving the cookies in your cupboard. Even if you can't see it, just the simple cue can get those cravings stirring and going. Now, because you start craving the cookie, you respond by going into the cupboards and eating the cookie. And because you go into the cupboards and eat the cookie, there's the reward of I've satisfied my craving. And now you associate walking into the kitchen with going into your cupboards. So now every single time that you walk into your kitchen, it feels like you have to go into your cupboards because you've linked the two. This is now a habitual cycle that repeats on autopilot without you even thinking. Now, the problem with this is so often people are trying to just change the response. Okay, at the end of the day, I'm not going to go into the cupboards. Nope, I know that they're there. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. How many times have you promised yourself, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go into the cupboards and grab the cookies and eat them. The problem with this is you might try to say, instead of eating, I'm just going to take a bath. I'm just going to call a friend. I'm just going to read a book. You might very well enjoy those things, but it does not satisfy the craving. It does not satisfy the craving. I don't care how much you like hot baths or how much you love your friend or how much you enjoy reading a book. it does not satisfy the craving. And there's more things to look at. There's the cue. If you don't change the cue, the one thing that's driving this pathway, and you don't look at changing your cravings, and you're just trying to change the response, it's going to be very challenging because you have this craving, you have this cue that's been in this habitual cycle. So just trying to change one part of the habit is not going to break it. It's not going to cut it. So what you need to do, the cue, the craving, and the response all need to be simple and easy. There needs to be some excitement, and you need to be satisfied. Trying to replace snacking late at night with something that is difficult, not exciting, and not satisfying is not going to cut it. And this is why I am not a big fan of, I could have sat here and said, so instead of snacking late at night, just go do laundry. Just go walk your dog. Just, go read that book. I'm sure you've tried those things. You need to understand how to change what's going on in your mind. How can we have more pleasure in our life and make these things leading up to the habit so we still get the reward, we still get pleasure, but it's not in a self-sabotaging way. Remember, your brain is hardwired to move you in the direction of pleasure and away from pain. And if you're trying to replace late night snacking with something that is not simple, it's not satisfying, and it's not as enjoyable, it's going to be this habitual cycle. It's going to be this habitual cycle. Whew, that was a lot of information. How are we doing? This is an awesome masterclass. Yay, thank you. I'm so glad. How are we doing? Drop one word in the chat box to describe how you're feeling. One word in the chat box. So there's, of course, so many more things that I can share. I do hope you guys learned a lot from this, bringing awareness. There's a lot more things that I can talk about, specific pattern interrupts, how to set your day up for success, what to do first thing in the morning, what to do during the day, what to do during your meals, so that you set yourself up for success come the evening time. But that is what I dive a little bit deeper into my programs when we have more time. So I hope you found this training super, super helpful. And if you are so ready to regain control with food, I am so excited to share with you my program, Break the Late Night Binge. This all-in-one program that teaches you everything that you need to know to break free from binge eating, emotional eating, and overeating late at night. So you are going to learn how to feel in complete control with food and be able to enjoy a snack when you're hungry and naturally stop eating when you're full. How to prepare yourself during the day so you can actually prevent the late night binge impulses from arising. Discovering what foods satisfy you so that you can extract full pleasure from all the meals without grazing around for more food after you've just eaten. And how to actually map the framework for being able to build a plate of all of your favorite foods late at night and being able to eat it with full control. And this one tool is such a game changer because once you learn this, you can enjoy all of your favorite foods, including past trigger foods, without it turning into a binge, without it being an overeating session, or without just, grazing on it when you know that you're not hungry. This will be a game changer for you. So here are some break the late night binge wins: being home alone and actually enjoying a movie, going to bed, no binge, which is so exciting because I know the evenings can be such a trigger for so many people being home alone. This one, oh, I love this one. Oh my God, ladies, just had a normal bowl of chips, stopped eating after that. Did not even have a single chip more when I no longer was hungry. Bag is open on my kitchen counter and I don't care. This is how you're going to be able to enjoy your favorite foods without binging and again, with full control. One more here, was originally not going to have any dessert tonight because I'm away from home this weekend, which could be a trigger, but then I felt in the mood for it. I thought about it, and then I took one cookie and then a fourth of another one, and then was able to stop. This is all possible for you inside of the Break the Late Night Binge. So just imagine eating healthy all day and being consistent with your food, eating a satisfying dinner and not having that urge to eat more food, spending quality time with your loved ones and actually decompressing, actually relaxing in the evenings without self-sabotaging with food. So spending so much more time with the people that you care about. If you do eat at night, let's say you are hungry and you want something, you have a controlled portion, and then you go to bed feeling so proud of yourself that you stopped when you were full. Waking up in the morning feeling light, feeling energetic, and in such a good mood because you're taking care of yourself and listening to your body. So, Break the Late Night Binge. What is actually included? So there's self-paced video modules, video trainings that you can watch on your own time. And there's also integration worksheets as well too, so that we learn the information and we also apply it, which is literally the biggest game changer for so many people to actually start implementing these tools and these strategies to start making progress right away. And then as a bonus, for 4 weeks, although you'll get lifetime access to this program, lifetime access to all the trainings, you can go back. For 4 weeks, I will plug you in to a community of supportive, incredible women who are going through the same thing as you that will help you to break through your late night binges. So you're going to have support. You can ask your questions about the program. You can ask your questions about any of the tools that you learned. You can share your wins when you didn't give into the urge to binge. You had a binge-free night. Maybe it's been a few weeks that you haven't binged. We're all going to be there to celebrate you, to love on you, to support you. And this is everything, and not feeling alone, and also having that momentum and that energy to really break through your binges in the evening. So normally the program is $497. For the next 48 hours, you can join this program for $333. So all you need to do, if you are ready and you're so excited about this, you're like, if I could just stop my nighttime binge eating, I'd actually be consistent and I would actually feel good in my own skin and I would finally break out of self-sabotage. This program is for you. You can just send me over a message, okay? Send me over a message on Instagram, or if we are plugged in Facebook or email, just send me over a message. Say, hey, Lorna, I watched your masterclass and I'm interested in Break the Late Night Binge, and I will send you over the link to join at that special discounted rate of the $333. So I am so excited for all of you ladies who are choosing to say yes to join this program, to break free from your nighttime binge eating. This is going to be so exciting. I cannot wait to support you. So thank you all so much for listening to this training. I can't wait to support you, and I will see you inside. Bye, guys.